The African dawn broke like liquid gold across the savanna. Each blade of grass shimmered. Every breath of wind carried life itself. And beneath this vast sky, a mother elephant moved with quiet majesty, her shadow long and graceful, her every step deliberate. But her world was not the endless plain. It was the tiny, clumsy heartbeat that trotted beside her. Her calf, still small enough to fit beneath her belly, followed with unwavering devotion. To him, she was everything: fortress, teacher, comfort, and home. He had never known fear, for her presence was the law of his universe. Each touch of her trunk was a promise: you are safe. They walked together toward the shimmer of a nearby waterhole, a mirror of peace beneath the rising sun. But in this wilderness, peace is never permanent. The earth remembers hunger, and that morning the ground itself would betray her. The calf wandered first, drawn by curiosity and the glint of reflected light. The soil looked solid, baked and dry by the sun. But beneath the crust, death waited. One innocent step too far, and the ground collapsed. A gasp, a splash, then silence, followed by a cry that shattered the morning. The mud was not water, it was a trap, thick, disordered, dark, and merciless. It seized his legs, dragged at his weight, pulled him downward in slow, unstoppable hunger. The little one trumpeted in terror, his voice high and desperate. His mother froze. For one heartbeat, disbelief. Then, instinct. She charged forward, trumpeting in panic, her massive feet breaking the surface. Mud surged around her, sucking at her strength, but she didn't care. Her trunk reached for him, stretching, trembling, searching for purchase. But the slick mud denied her. It was a monster made of earth itself, devouring her child inch by inch. Her cries grew louder, deeper, echoing across the plains, a call of agony that shook the air. And then, through the trembling horizon, shapes began to move. Her herd had heard her. A line of giants appeared, drawn by her desperation. The matriarch, ancient, wise, bearing the calm authority of centuries, took command. Together they surrounded the pit, rumbling to one another in low tones that spoke of fear, strategy, and sorrow. They tried everything, digging with tusks, reaching with trunks, pressing the ground to find stable footing. But the mud was relentless. For every handful they removed, more flowed back. The calf's cries weakened. His body, once full of energy, sagged beneath the weight of exhaustion and heat. The mother's strength began to falter. Her movement slowed, her calls broke into sobs of thunder. And then, from beyond the dunes, came laughter. Not joy, but hyenas. They appeared like shadows cast by dread itself. Silent at first, then chuckling, a cruel, knowing sound. They didn't attack. They didn't need to. They simply watched, patient and confident, their eyes glinting with the knowledge of how. Stories like this usually end. The matriarch understood the danger. To stay was to invite death, not just for one, but for all. She rumbled a long, sorrowful note, the command to withdraw. The herd hesitated, torn between loyalty and survival. But the savanna is ruled by harsh math. The living cannot die for the dying. And so, one by one, they turned away. The ground trembled as their footsteps faded into distance. The mother did not move. She stayed, alone, towering over the pit, her child half submerged, eyes glassy with fear. The light of the day dimmed into the cruel red of sunset. The hyenas watched from the ridge, their laughter replaced by silence. The world seemed to hold its breath. The mother lowered her trunk one final time, brushing the mud from her baby's face. He looked at her, trusting still, even in despair. Then she lifted her head and cried, a single, raw, unearthly trumpet that tore the sky apart. It was the sound of a heart breaking beyond repair. But her cry did not vanish into emptiness. It traveled, rolling across the plains, echoing through the dusk. And somewhere, far away, a lone wanderer heard it. Out of the deepening twilight came a silhouette, massive, deliberate, ancient. A bull elephant, tusks long and curved with age, his body scarred by battles and storms. He was a stranger, a nomad of solitude, owing no allegiance to her herd. Yet something in that cry drew him. The mother tensed, ready to defend her dying child even against this giant. But the bull did not challenge. He approached slowly, his eyes fixed not on her, but on the pit, on the small head barely visible in the muck. Then, without hesitation, he began to dig, not with rage, but purpose. Each thrust of his tusks tore at the hardened edge, breaking it apart. Mud flew, earth trembled. He carved a path, a ramp of salvation. The mother watched, stunned, then joined him. Together they became a force beyond comprehension, two hearts united against the will of the earth itself. Every movement was a defiance of despair. Every rumble was a vow. We will not let the world end like this. As twilight deepened, their work neared completion. One final push, one last surge of strength. And the calf broke free, collapsing onto solid ground, trembling, covered in mud, but alive. The mother wrapped her trunk around him, pulling him close, rumbling softly. A sound like gratitude, like prayer. She turned to the bull. For a long, quiet moment, they stood in the crimson light, two titans joined by grace. No words, no calls, just understanding. Then, as silently as he had come, the bull turned and walked back into the night. The stars began to rise. The hyenas vanished into shadow. And the savanna exhaled. In a world ruled by cruelty and chance, this was something else. A moment of mercy, a testament that even in nature's fiercest heart, compassion endures. Because sometimes the wild is not just a place of survival, but a place where miracles walk on 4 feet and love is stronger than the earth itself.